Welcome into another edition of the Old North State Sports Show, folks. We are in now what is take 3 for me personally, but you guys get the latest and greatest version of this. We're here today to talk about wide receiver, the hottest topic of the offseason, outside of maybe edge, defense in general. I feel like the entire defense and the reconstructing that's happened and what will continue to happen, like that's a known. What is unknown is wide receiver. Primarily, are the Panthers going to draft one early at pick 8? Are they going to continue to look around? And we've looked at this from all angles. I've personally sat down and was like, hey, maybe this team is pretty high on the guys that they're bringing back. Maybe they see something in Xavier Legette, who's out there riding horses. Maybe they see something in Jalen Coker. I mean, they do see something, but like, do they see more than what we see? Do they think Adam Thielen can carry the torch? David Moore, not the best group overall when you think about going into next year. I've even thought, well, what did the Philadelphia Eagles look like? Well, a Super Bowl winning team, how did they perform? And knowing that their passing game wasn't one of the best in the league, well, to the flip side, they had a fantastic rushing attack. Now, we know the Carolina Panthers want to continue to pound the rock, and you bring in Rico Dowdle. You have continuity on the offensive line, but I don't know if I'm going to sit here and say that we're going to have a Saquon Barkley on this team. As much as I love Chuba Hubbard, it would be fantastic to see some type of production like that, but we have to be realistic. With all that said, whenever we get like a nugget, piece of information from a coach, maybe from a player, from the GM, from anyone inside the organization, we're going to talk about it. We're going to share it because I think you get very limited info in these situations. So anytime you get a talking bit from a coach, which is Dave Canales or Dan Morgan, Brant Tillis, whoever it is, I want to sit down and listen. And as Alex Bryant likes to say, when people talk, listen. He's very true. Apologize for the break there. I am still overcoming what I had. I'm like on the tail end of it, but every now and then I still have to clear my throat, cough, all that nasty stuff. It's been a very rough cold. Not that you care about that. But what this sheds light on, and we're going to play the clip here in a minute, I'm not going to leave you hanging too much longer, is that the Panthers were in having conversations about DK Metcalf. And to me, that signifies that this team is serious about trying to upgrade wide receiver. And for them to have a conversation, it lets me know that they're not done. And they may not be able to get their master plan complete this year, but it does, lean into this idea that maybe the NFL draft, pick 8, or in the second round, the Panthers could make a decision to pull someone. So without further ado, let's cue this up so you guys can hear me and I can take a little break from talking and we will run this clip. And again, I'm not going to play the video just for purposes of my YouTube channel monetization, but we will play the full clip and we'll go ahead and run it now.
Yeah, let's make sure we have the right guy, the right fit, somebody that we want to be a Panther for a long time. So that's really where our conversations are.
Coach, you didn't give me anything there. You got to give me something. What is there? Come on. Lean one way or the other. What'd you say?
Wide receiver?
Yeah, wide receiver. It sounds like you're getting a wide receiver.
There's some dynamic wide receivers out there. Bryce certainly will take advantage of that.
I look at this and I'm like 7 touchdowns, no interceptions over his last 3 games. Like, I wish this season didn't end when it did,
Yeah.
You're one of those teams where I'm like, I wish that was the start, and now you have to pick up for there. I don't know how you do that, but I do think, adding like a Tyreek Hill. How quick did you text Dan Morgan about that?
Right. DK, we had the conversations, there were some interesting conversations that came up over the last couple of weeks. It's really tempting, but at the same time, like, we have to address, the needs on defense first. We're 32nd in the NFL on defense, and that's something where our focus has gone to, to make sure that we can, play good, balanced, complementary football.
There you have it, folks. Interesting conversations. And the Tyreek Hill news has kind of been up and down. But over the last 24 hours, it seemed to escalate again. Who really knows what's going on there? I know a lot of folks, and he's even retweeted it, which is why I posted it, of who may be a good or potential trade day target. And they listed Tyreek Hill as someone that may be moving once we get into the NFL draft. But I think, again, as we hear Dave Canales talk about the wide receiver position, maybe, just maybe, that little clip right there is enough to hold fans over. Just for a little bit. But I will highly recommend that you guys are patient, because I don't think there's any guarantees. Even saying everything that he said, we still know there is going to be a focus on the defensive side of the ball. And as I sit here and record this, and hopefully you guys follow me on X, I've been posting clips of the defense just to remind folks how bad it really was. Right now, I was actually looking at breaking down film for Nick Scott, because part of me was hopeful that Nick Scott, maybe there was something in there that we didn't see. Maybe the Panthers saw something, but the fact he didn't play on defense since the Week 7 game against the Washington Commanders had me a little bit worried. And I go back and watch that game, and now I can see exactly why, with the number of missed tackles, misalignment. But it's not just him. It's the entire Carolina Panthers defense. So I think continuing to talk about adding depth, you can win more football games. Like, if you think about the Panthers offense, no, it's not going to be greatest show on turf. No, it's not going to be 2015. No, it's not going to be the years of Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore-esque. But if you can take steps forward with Jalen Coker, with Xavier Legette, if Chuba Hubbard can continue, if you can get some production out of Jatavian Sanders, Tommy Tremble, and throw in Rico Dowdle into the mix as well, you set yourself up really well. Then on the defensive side of the ball, like, if you can put up 21 points per game, honestly, we'll probably get closer to 24 points. But if you're putting up 3 touchdowns plus a field goal, and your defense can somehow just be mediocre, you're giving yourself a really good shot at being a 9, 8, 10 win football team. I kind of don't want to go too far, but I think that's why the Panthers will continue to invest. Now, at the very beginning of that, which was cut off, one of the things you didn't get to hear is Dave Canales is still talking about best player available. So it's still a possibility that the Panthers look at wide receiver. We will, over the next few weeks, get into the nitty-gritty of some of the best available wide receivers, first, second, third round guys that the Panthers could scoop up, because there's a lot of talent at wide receiver, a lot of talent at edge as well. So the Panthers can make this happen. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it for today's episode. This is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.